Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. It is Thursday, December 16th, 2021, which means we have what, 15 days left? 15 days left, I think, until we start the new year. Time is flying. Time is flying, and nothing you do to change that. So we'll just keep on doing this stuff, keep on having these videos and these conversations and these sort of things, and we'll see how it goes when we get to 2022. Hopefully, things are much better in some way, shape, or form than they have been for the last, 2 years. So we'll have to see how that goes. Um, if you're new here, we try to talk about classic cars. Sometimes we go off and talk about different things, but for the most part, we focus on classic cars, cars from the 60s, some in the 70s, maybe in the 80s. Who knows? But generally, the 60s era is where we'd like to hang out. Those were the best, coolest cars probably made in our lifetime as far as shapes and designs and all that sort of thing. So that's where we're at. If you have a question about one of these old cars, you have a question about even maybe a newer car that you have some problems with, by all means, share it with us, let us know. And usually I have a pretty good turnout of people that show up and help us out answering questions. And they are on that side over there on that side box. But let's see who's here. I don't know how many we'll have today. I see we have 11 up here on my counter showing 11 viewing. We got a few comments on the side. So right off the bat, we have Bob. Bob from Detroit. Good afternoon, Bear. This is Bob. Hi, Bob. I'll give you a bell for being here first. Dawn. Hello, everyone. Wet 37 degrees here. Yeah. No thanks. Rusty's Mustang Garage. Good afternoon. Yes. Year is almost done. Yes. Boogie Bum. Hello from Nashville. There's our first Tennessee, I think. First person from Tennessee. I'll give you a bell for that. Because usually we have quite a few people that show up from Tennessee. Bob, I went and bought some moving blankets and hung them up. The garage is a lot warmer. Thank you. Yeah, cool. It works. It works. Just a little bit of difference makes a big difference. Let's see. Ricard, Out of Gas Garage, checking in from Sweden. Glad you're here. Ed Cucciarella, hello. Hope all are well. And Charlie Seidelman, hello all. Yes. It's that time of year. We all have events. We all have between, Thanksgiving and New Year, a variety of things that are going on. And it tends to tie us up and take away from, our time out here in the garage. And, I will say that this also slows me down this time of year. Yes, I have the garage door closed normally anyway, but when winter starts to kick in, I start to just kind of like, do I really want to be out doing something right now? So it tends to slow me down. And I'm sure we're all kind of like that. I don't know anybody who goes, yeah, yay, I'm ready to go and go outside in the cold and wet and rain and snow and do things. So just kind of how it is. I'm not getting a whole lot done currently in the garage. I was waiting on some other parts to show up, which they did. They finally showed up yesterday. I was working on, of course, the radiator setup on the 68 Mustang known as Jade. And there's some things I need to look at on that project. Excuse me. I commented or made my videos and I talked about the pulleys being offset with the water pump. And I really didn't think about it much. But somebody commented, they said, what about your crankshaft pulley? That completely slipped my mind, but I know when I was looking at it, I think I saw that it was pretty much still in line. So my thoughts was the water pump for the 68 version slightly off from the crankshaft pulley, and now it's relatively closer? It could be, but I have not looked at it very much just yet. But I will be working towards putting in a toggle switch, as I mentioned. I'm going to toggle switch the fans so that I do have control over them if I need them. Like when I turn on the AC or something. So this was a pretty good deal. These things, if you buy stuff off of Amazon or wherever, usually you get a better price, but you buy more than two, in this case, I got 5 toggle switches. Did I need 5 toggle switches? No. but the cost for 5 was almost cheaper than the cost for 2. Why not? I'll put them in a drawer and I'll forget about them. I'll forget I have them, but hopefully I don't. I'm going to try to. I was having a conversation with a guy that sends me emails. Uh, we communicate through emails quite a bit, and he was talking about how he had organized or had been organizing his shop and his space, and he was talking about making up a directory. I was like, yeah, it's a great idea. I never think about that. I just kind of, well, just put it over here in this box and forget about it, and put it over here in this corner and forget about it. The reality is, there's a lot of stuff in this garage, and I probably have 2 or 3 of these toggle switches sitting somewhere that I can't remember. But if I had a bin or something that I identified as, hey, this is electrical stuff, at least identify it as electrical stuff, that would probably help. Same way with, I do have like hoses, fuel line and vacuum lines. I have all those in a box and I just label it hoses, stuff like that. But generally, I think we all get kind of caught up in the idea, oh, I'll get back to that. Let me just put it over here and forget about it for the minute. And then we forget about it forever, it seems. So I need to do more of that. And I'm going to try to get there. Now, let's see who else is here. Oh yeah, Charlie says hello all. Good. Phil, MIM so hi all. The song lied. It does rain in California. Oh, well, I guess that's a good thing though. You need rain out there too. Dave Conville checking in from New Jersey. Jerry checking in from the Money Pit in Middle Tennessee. Rusty's Mustang Garage. Yep, holidays have slowed down the progress a little. Yeah. And Charlie Sottleman. Whoop, Charlie. A hot cup of coffee helps to jumpstart ambition. Yeah. Yeah. And Dawn, as much as I love working on Betsy and getting her back on the road, I love being with my family and celebrating the holidays. Got to have balance. Yeah, I understand that. I think, again, for me, I kind of get just, I don't have a lot of goals for the rest of the year. Just to be honest. I did talk about, um, I'll probably be doing a giveaway video, maybe Friday. I don't know just yet, but I'll be giving away some hats. And, I don't know what else I'll do. I have one more video that I can edit for the Mustang that is the radio install, which may not be that exciting, but I could probably edit that video and get it out. I still need to do some maintenance stuff on the family vehicles. I have a video to make on my wife's van where I'm going to replace the rotors and brake pads because the rotors are, shaking. I also need to do a serpentine belt video on that van. So there's a variety of things that need to be taken care of, but I don't have any specific garage goals in here. Yes, I want to get the Mustang finished, and I do want to get the paint done on the Honda, but I can't really do that until I finish the Mustang. Kind of a sequence there. And as I say, sequence is scored, right? So otherwise, things are pretty good right here. The temperatures today is pretty moderate. I think it's probably mid 50s, which is great. 58 degrees right now. Oh, no, I take that back. 65. I was off. 65 degrees here in Georgia. And they're calling for rain on Saturday. So that kind of blows up Saturday. But that's all right. That's all right. Dawn, I'm a bit burned out. Been working on Betsy almost exclusively since April. Yeah. Yeah, and that's just how it is. It just it becomes that time of year where it's like, meh, I'd rather just have a cup of coffee, eat some pie, and chillax, right? I know that I'd mentioned previously on one of my videos or one of the live streams that my wife had made turkey rice soup over Thanksgiving, and somebody has asked me for that recipe for turkey rice soup, and I have not. She has it in her head, so I can't really just say this is what you do. It's not that complicated. I mean, turkey, rice, celery, carrots, and some seasoning, basically. So, but I would rather be eating some, gut food than be out in the garage doing certain things at this point. Terry, sorry, I was in the garage working on the 46 and forgot the time. Please hit like and thumbs up. Yes. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I had a conversation this morning with a gentleman who he's trying to put together a convertible, and he's struggling with putting together a convertible because he has, like, when I did the 66 convertible here, I started with the one piece floor pan and then worked my way up and out, which is to me the way to go. He was trying to do it with the front half of a car, basically a new front section, the frame rails and shock towers and everything from, I don't know who makes it, but it's an assembly. And then the rear part of the car, which was an assembly. Now, he did start with a car that was pretty messed up. But he's been trying to narrow down measurements and things that aren't fitting right and that sort of thing. And as I've said to other people, whenever you're doing these cars, yes, measurements are important to a point. These cars have been around 50 years or more. And when they were new, they weren't that tight. So whenever I'm putting something together, there's another one, Doug, Third Stall Garage. He's trying to put together a convertible as well. It's a whole nother thing. And struggling with measurements and stuff like that. And I've shown it before. If I can, these cars might have a slight tweak here and there, something's out of place, might have been in a minor fender bender, and that'll affect the shock tower. It can. And sometimes you just can't get that back where the factory says it should be. You got to adapt. I've worked on making the aprons fit the car so that the fenders fit the car, so that the doors fit the fenders fit the hood. All that stuff matters, but I'm more worried about the outside of the car at the end of the day. I'm not saying I'm going to take shortcuts and cut something off and, weld the piece in the wrong place, but you get caught up in those measurements and you could be just shooting yourself in the foot, honestly, because you gotta understand there's a balance there between what the engineer designed and what rolled out the door at the end of the day on a production line. Ed, Cars and Coffee cooking class, turkey and rice sounds good. Yeah, that's a really good meal. It is a really good meal. It's one of those, if you were out like going hunting or something, fill up on turkey rice soup, and you're good to go for a while. Jack, good afternoon, Barry. Glad you're here, Jack. Rusty, no real goals for the rest of the year, but lots of stuff planned for 2022. First being getting the car up on the body jig. Well, that sounds like a good plan. If I had a body jig, I would probably use it, but I don't have a body jig. I wouldn't mind having one. I've thought about making one on occasion, but I've never gotten to that point. But I wouldn't mind having one, honestly, because some of my plans going forward may get more involved when I focus on just doing sheet metal work. I think that's going to be my primary focus in 2022. Sheet metal work is going to be my primary focus. So once I get the Honda, done and gone, and of course get Jade back up and together, the Camaro is rolling in here. That's the next thing coming in the door is a 68 Camaro. And I mentioned it before in another live stream. I did have a conversation with somebody at AMD about doing some video up there, and I may twist their ear a little bit and say, hey, why don't you sponsor me and give me some panels that I can use? I think that it would be beneficial for them, to show. I could do a comparison video between the quarter panels and stuff that I have and the quality panels that AMD offers and say, look, this is why you spend this much money on this quarter panel and you get, this quarter panel for this amount of money. I think it'd be a great comparison video. So I may try to twist their ear a little bit, see if they're interested. The other thing that I mentioned in the previous live stream was the video that I might be making for Yes Welder. Okay, now I've made several videos for them. I used their plasma cutter. I made a video. I used their welder. I made a video. They're asking me to make another video on their latest and greatest welder, which is a 5-function welder with a built-in plasma cutter. Okay. And I thought, well, we've been emailing and I said, are you wanting me to like do all the functions, like actually weld with argon, weld with um, argon CO2, flux core, TIG, or you want me to demonstrate all this stuff? Because I really don't want to do all that. And by the sounds of it, they just want me to do an instructional video, like how you put the thing together, how you attach the airline, where you put the wire on, how you, attach things. So I may just go ahead and do that. And of course, they told me they would send me another welder. I'm welder rich right now, or appliance rich. I have 2 plasma cutters, and I think I have 1, 2, 3, at least 4 welders in here. At least 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I have 4 welders. So we'll see how that goes. Rusty's, I built it, was quite the project itself. All for the jig, yeah. Well, I mean, I would love to build one. I would. I actually had some designs in my head where I was like, well, if I built let's say you built a Mustang specific jig, could you sell them? There's no adjustments. This is it. This is where it's at. You've got this square tubing. Here's your X, shock or a spring mount. Here's your mount for the rear front frame rail and all that sort of thing, and have it to where it'd be like you could take it apart, collapse it together, and put it on the back of a pickup truck or something. I don't know. I've thought about ideas like that, but I would like to build one. Bob, well, Bear, I'm in the middle of taking my car down to the bare metal, but as I do that, I find no rust, but a bunch of dings and dents that I had no idea it was there. Yep. Yeah, not surprised. There's always stuff hidden on these cars, and but dents and dings are better than rust. You can quote me on that one. I would rather have dents and dings than rust any day. All right. So Terry has a question. How do you go from a 91 5.0 EFI and AOD wiring to an American Auto Wire harness? The Mercury had an ECM. Help. Okay. So you're trying to eliminate the AOD wiring? Is that what we're getting at? Are you trying to keep it fuel injected? Are you trying to go back to like a regular carbureted type of system? Need a little more information, but I'm not sure where your goal is. However, I will say this. There's something I've been looking at that I'm very interested in that Holley sells. And the reason I'm interested in what they're selling is my Franken truck. I took that 2006 truck and I put a 68 cab on it, and then I incorporated things, kind of cross things together. And there's something wrong with the computer system in that vehicle. So I've looked at the Holley Terminator X, I think they call it. With transmission controls. So you can take the computer out. You plug in the Terminator X deal. It gives you the functions. You have to figure out which one fits your vehicle, but it takes over your car, or your engine controls, your transmission controls, and there's a touch screen that you get with it that you can put inside the car or truck and modify whatever you need to do. Seemed pretty simple. And I'm kind of really looking at maybe doing that because the system that I have is the original system for the truck, and something's messed up. I've mentioned before, something's messed up. The difficulty though is because I'm using the ABS and all of that came in the 06 truck, I don't know how I can isolate one from the other. Like I don't want to make it more difficult and add more to it than what I have. I want to try to eliminate the complications that I have with the electronic stuff. And it may actually be that I swap back to the original style gauges, the original style steering column, stuff like that. So I'm not sure just yet where I'm at with all that. Terry says, yes, fuel injected. I have a 12 circuit American Auto Wire harness. My engine is 5.0, trans is AOD. Okay. I can't tell you, what vehicle you're from 91 5.0. So you're coming out of a Mercury, you said. So you want to keep the fuel inject. Yeah, you're going to need some sort of control harness. I mean, American Auto Wire, that primarily is for all your lights and circuits and exterior stuff. When it comes down to the engine, if it's going to have fuel injected, there has to be some sort of control unit for that to make that work, especially with the transmission. AOD, if you're going to have it function as it did in the Mercury, that was more computer control. I know I have not dealt with those specifically, but like I know the Chevy 5.3 with the 4L60, there's a kickdown cable or something that you can add to that to make it function. I don't know what's available for the AOD stuff, if it has that sort of controls on it. I know that the transmission that was going in the convertible up here, it had an electronic control on the side of it. But that's all I know. I don't know any more about it. I think there's some sort of module that goes with it. So I don't know what options are available to make that work. I'm just not familiar with it enough. I know in my case, like I said, the Chevy truck or GMC truck that I built, I would like to simplify it and probably get that Holley Terminator system, and isolate it down to where it's just the functions of the engine and transmission are run off of that box. Be done with it. So you can look at those if you're interested. They make them for everything, and they may have one. I mean, they're not cheap. They're like $1,600, but it's plug and play, and you can actually change settings on it. A friend of mine who, he works for Holley, he was showing me how all that stuff works, and I was like, that's pretty cool. You have control over the timing digitally and all these different functions. So I don't have a good answer for you other than you may be looking at, you got to have some sort of control module for that fuel injection. Robert, I'm here finally. It's been nasty, hot, and humid here, and no sleep since it's so hot at night. Oh man. Let's see. Want to keep ECM, but I have the wiring from the Mercury. This is for our 46 sedan. The rear is from the Mercury. Okay. Well, yeah, I think that I don't have an easy answer. If anybody has a good answer for Terry, because like I said, the American Auto Wire is more to the perimeter wiring, the taillights and brake lights and turn signals, all that sort of thing. Now there is some function off of the key and starting it up and all that. But if you're using the ECM from the Mercury, well, there's got to be, I think, I know there's people that take those modules, they take the control modules and they depin certain stuff on it. They like narrow down the function of that module to just what you need. I can't point you in a direction and say it's go to this person because I don't know for sure. But I know, at least with the GM stuff, there are people that isolate down. They'll remove stuff out of the system to simplify it. I don't even want to mess with the system that I have because I'm concerned in my case that something I messed up, and I'd rather just toss the whole thing aside, grab that Holley unit and plug it up and be done. But I understand where you're coming from. If you can use the ECM from the Mercury, that would be great. That would be great. Okay. Here's something else I want to talk to you about. There was a sale today at Harbor Freight, or it ended today. And my wife had sent me up there to get stocking stuffers, right? So I got some things to throw in the stockings. And we also had to do a gift exchange. We have a group of friends we get together with on a Friday or this Friday, and we do a gift exchange, like $20, something, whatever. And usually the gifts are relatable to men and women. You know, women give blankets and candles, and men give a hunting knife and flashlights and, you know, stuff like that. But I saw this when I was up there yesterday. Last night, I went and bought this thing. Now, I wish this thing was rechargeable. I wish it was rechargeable, but it's not. And I'll just have to deal with that because you know how it is. We all need more light. Right? So this thing, it has a power switch on the back here. It has 4 magnets. I haven't really tested it out. I guess it would probably need, yeah, I would need all 4 magnets engaged. It hangs on. Don't have an easy way to show you that. Let me see. So it hangs on, right? It also has this cool little handle that you can tip it up and angle it so you can have it sitting on a bench or something, right? Or underneath, if you're working on the car, you can angle it down. So we always need more lights. But I saw this. I don't want to aim it at the thing too much. 750 lumens. Now, of course, the lights are on in the shop, so that doesn't help at all. But, and it's got a strobe function. But these were on sale for $14.95. $14.95. So I had to buy. I'm giving one of these away at our Christmas event, and I had to get one for myself. And the edges here, this is kind of rubberized, soft, which is a good deal. I need as many lights as I can get anymore. I can't seem to see everything. Dawn, seems like the ECM and harness has everything you need. Only conflict will be evaporator canister and fuel pump controls. That's a good answer. That is a good answer. Rusty's, it says 4 AA batteries. Just standard AA batteries. And it says, and it'll last up to 5.5 hours, 80-foot range. I mean, that's, you know, if you're under the hood of something, perfect. Perfect. So, anyway, can't pass up a good light. Wally, better late than never, applying trunk seal, watching some guy called Barry on Jade Part 72. Good for you. Good for you. Robert, I have a Cat branded one that is rechargeable and has a USB port so you can charge something from it, not magnetic, but it's bigger. Yeah. Well, I like the size of this thing. I mean, I get it, Cat brand, you know, and it's rechargeable is awesome, but the size of this thing is what got me. Nice and small. And again, you put this up under the hood. I'm making that noise now. Put something up. Rusty, okay, what time of batteries? All right. Jerry, the rain headed your direction is now in Middle Tennessee. Temperature is 68 degrees. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like 60, 65 or something here. And it's supposed to rain Saturday. I know that much. Don't need it. Rusty, thumbs up. Yes. And Dawn, use rechargeable AA batteries. Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's a smart thing to do. That is a smart thing to do. You know, I've always, ever since I got these lights, these have been fantastic. You know, they sell these at Harbor Freight, and if you catch them on sale, they're like $19. I just love these lights. You know, they have that little light on the end too. Not that I ever really use that, but having the magnetic base and pivoting and all that stuff. I have 2 of these I keep up here on the bench, and I always make sure one of them is charged. I always make sure. But this, I'm looking forward to trying this out. I want to get it, again, up under the hood, or I guess you could even hang it from something if you wanted to with that handle. Pretty cool. They keep coming out with more and more lights, and it's like, oh, I want to buy that one too. Terry, fuel tank will be original. Do I need a return port for the other fuel line? Not used to EFI, just old school. Okay. Yeah, you're going to need some sort of a return, from my understanding, because the fuel, being electronic fuel injection, it's going to have pressure pushing to the injectors, but it is going to have a relief that goes back to the tank because it may not. It's not like the fuel pumps, old mechanical fuel pumps. You're going to have electric something pushing, and it has to have a return going back to the gas tank. Robert, they're really good rechargeable nickel metal hydride batteries now that are really good. I love that Flex Head Harbor Freight light stays on under the car for a week of driving when you forget it. Yeah, I know you sent me that picture. Robert lost his light, and then he was doing something underneath, working on his, I think his wife's car or something, or I don't know which. And he was like, What is that?" It was his light. I think it was stuck to like the lower control arm or something. He forgot about it, but it stayed on. Did not fall off. Greg says, "Hi, Barry. He just caught up." Well, welcome. Greg is here from Australia, so a bit of a different time schedule than us for sure. But anyway, what else is going on out there? What else is going on? Everybody getting things put together, getting ready for Christmas, got your wish list going. Every time Christmas comes around for me, I say don't get me anything. I'm good with just sitting back and let everybody else have their thing. But there was I will say this. I had placed an order from CJ Pony, and I don't know. I placed an order for a bigger alternator. I had somebody donate to the cause for me to get a bigger alternator for Jade because they said you're going to need a bigger alternator with this. So I ordered, and I got a notice from CJ, delayed shipment. Thank you for choosing us for your performance and restoration needs. Our team is working to get your order to you as fast as we can. And it says it's back ordered and due approximately February 8th, 2022. I might have my alternator that I ordered from CJ Pony. Might. Charles, way late, but I'm here from warm 72 and humid Pensacola, Florida. I'm glad you're here, Charles. Don, mount fuel pump on the frame rail should be easy enough to add return. CJ sells a tank sender with return. So there you go. Some good information from Don. Thank you, Don. Robert, with EFI, an in-tank pump is the best choice, and you also need a baffle in the tank so it doesn't lose pressure. Return line as well. You can use steel, aluminum, or the modern plastic fuel line. Yeah, that is a good point. You definitely don't want to use pressure on the lose the pull of fuel from sloshing around. Very good point. Terry, did you get the lights on the house yet? Yep, I did. Two strands of snowflakes. All done. All done. Jerry, I'm prepping my GT500 for a World of Wheels show in January. So far, about 60 hours in the undercarriage. Hopefully, I'll get it all finished Friday. I need to paint the rear end with Pour 15. Okay, good for you. Sounds like you put a lot of work in the car. Good. Dennis, hi Barry and gang. I would send some snow down. However, we are only getting a few inches at a time here. 27 degrees West Coast Canada. Yeah. No thanks. I don't no snow for me. I appreciate it though. Yeah, I do. But no snow. Greg, Barry, the English wheel is going well. Oh, good, Greg. Is it completed? Is it all put together and doing as you expected it to? I know I haven't kept up with all the videos on that English wheel, but is it working? Is it at a point where you can use it? That's the goal. And if you haven't looked at Greg's stuff, he builds some pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. And he's probably the only person I've ever seen that welds without a face shield, without glasses. I don't know how he does it. But Greg he's doing some serious welding, and I know he's holding a gun so that the light is coming out sideways, whatever. but he welds stuff all the time with no hood, no goggles. I'm just amazed by that. Charles, a while back you spoke of a coverage that you knew of. Any updates? I'm still hoping mine will start in the new year. I have no updates on that. I have no updates on that. I wish I did. All I have is some pictures of it, and I don't know what the status is at this point. I don't know what the status is. Um, I'm hoping to hear something at some point, but right now, nothing. Dawn says, I would enjoy a white Christmas. Only happened 3 times here in my lifetime. Wow. That's interesting. But I guess it doesn't really, you don't really get to snow in Portland, right? Because you get that, the heat from the Gulf, or not the Gulf, but there's like a jet stream that comes from the south, right? That's why up in Canada there, or British Columbia, Victoria, British Columbia, they're growing like flowers all year round because they get this heat that comes up from the jet stream. I guess it's probably pretty similar with Portland, right? Terry, okay, if I want to go to CARB, what problems will I run into with the engine? You really shouldn't. You really shouldn't. If you pulled off, I mean, you have to pull the intake manifold, get a intake manifold that fits, carburetor, distributor. You know, if you eliminate all the electronic stuff, you're back to a standard 302. So just I mean, it's a good consideration. It's hard to beat the simplicity of it. But yeah, there shouldn't be any problems with the engine. Not that I've ever heard of. You know, they sell like the 5.3, which is probably the most LS engine, which is probably the most swapped engine out there. They sell regular intake manifolds for them now, and you put a carburetor on them and just drive them. Greg says he's not done with his English wheel. He's got 2 more videos to go. Okay. Well, I know that's a beast. That's a beastly machine. And Greg, when he's welding stuff, like I said, it's not like when I'm in here doing spot welds and taking my time. Greg's burning that stuff together, and his welds look fantastic. I can tell he's been doing that a long, long time. Terry, will the trans work? That I don't have an answer for. I don't. Like I said, I know that like in the LS engines, the 4L60, you add a kickdown cable, but I don't know the limitations on that transmission. Dawn says no mechanical fuel pump mounting on a fuel injected 5.0. There's a good point. So you will have to add an electric fuel pump even if you're going to a carburetor, which won't be so bad because it's not like the fuel injection where it's a little more complicated. But you could easily add an electric fuel pump to that. Robert, sending a pic of the AMC that she bought years ago and would like to find another one. The only 2 Polaroid pics of it. If I could find one and parts, it'd be nice to do. Okay. I'm not here yet, so we'll have to wait until those pictures show up. Pic of the AMC that she bought years ago. Okay. But yeah, as Dawn was saying with the fuel pump, like I mean, I'll take his word for it. There's no mechanical mount point, or you can't mount a mechanical fuel pump, I guess. All right. Other things that I'm looking forward to, you know, again, getting the fastback conversion in here at some point. I still have not found who I'm going to get the parts from for that. There's one guy that I was talking to, but I have not gotten any return from him, so I don't know for sure. Hopefully he responds because I'm ready to go take a trip and pick up sheet metal. You know, I'd rather just go get it and have it here and then and be set. Terry, got a little delay going. And this is why I partake in this channel. Yep, Barry and all. Yep, good. Okay, so here's another observation for you, Terry. Dawn says you can put a mechanical fuel pump in it, but you have to change the timing cover. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Oops. That makes sense. Because I was thinking, whenever you said that, like I was thinking the old Chevy small blocks, they had a plate that bolted to them. And I assumed, I didn't think about the configuration of the small block Ford of Fords, um, where I guess it's part of the timing cover. You know, the Chevy, it was behind all that timing cover. So when you said it didn't have that, I was thinking perhaps that there was no provision for it at all, but it makes sense that the timing cover could be swapped. Dennis Bear was told if you butt weld two different gauges of sheet metal in time, it will crack. Use a TIG welder, not MIG welder. Um, I maybe I'm not sure about that because a weld doesn't care. Um, I mean, I get what you're saying. If you're using two different gauges of sheet metal, I guess it depends on what it's being used for. You know, if it's under a stress load, yeah, something's going to give. Um, if it's a just a non-structural piece and there's nothing pulling or pushing on it or binding on it, I don't think it would be that big a deal. But I get that, um, and I think a lot of it has to do with where it's at in whatever you're working on. Troy Justit, hey everyone, sorry I'm late. Glad you're here, Troy. How's the weather? You're on the Gulf or no, Georgia coast, right? I think. So let us know how the weather is over there. I know we're all dealing with of course, the normal weather conditions that come around. That's the way it is. I'm looking forward to having spring show up soon, and let the days start getting longer again. And Dawn is saying Terry also have to install the eccentric on the cam gear. Another good point. I keep forgetting because most of my engine stuff that I've ever built has all been Chevys. So I have worked on like it was a 427 or 428 whatever, and I remember that eccentric on the cam gear. That's a good point. That is a good point, and you don't think about that. Like the Chevys, it's built onto the cam shaft, and a Ford, it's mounted to the front. So good. That's yeah. Good point. Good point, Don. Troy, cloudy but warm, 70 degrees. Yeah. Well, it's like 60, 65 or something here. Um, and it's not bad. Yeah, it's 65. But we'll have rain coming. And thankfully it's not been the major storms they're having out in the Midwest and tornadoes and all that crazy stuff. I'll take a little bit of rain and cool weather and whatever, but everybody out in the Midwest is got hammered. Terry, no problem going with electric fuel pump, no changing harmonic balancer or crank sensor. Um, I don't see where you'd need to because I don't see where you'd need to. If you're going now, if I'm assuming here, okay, so like a normal small block Ford will have mechanical pump, with the timing cover and eccentric as we talked about. And if you're doing a regular intake manifold, you're probably going to go with a distributor, I would assume. So if you're uh, going with a distributor, the crank sensor really isn't going to care. It's not going to make much difference. At least in my opinion. Okay. I got some pics from Jerry and from Robert. I don't know if I'll get all of these or not. We'll try some of these. Robert, I'm glad spring is finally ending today, down to 70 degrees. Been 80 and sticky and nasty here. It was still 70 degrees at 2 a.m. when I couldn't sleep. You're saying spring is finally ending? Jerry sent me some pics and Boogie Bomb. My neighborhood got hammered pretty hard in last Saturday's storm. 6 of my neighbors' power was finally restored yesterday, and we've been cleaning up trees all week. Well, I'm glad you at least, there's people that have lost everything. I mean, everything wiped out. See if I can get a picture to pull up here. I think this is, if it'll pop up. Okay. So Robert was talking about this AMC that his wife owned at one point. He's trying to find another one if he can. I don't know what year that has to be, like a 80 something, 81, 82 maybe. I don't know. I don't know what those are. Maybe we'll give some more information on that. And then these other pictures I'll pull up are from Jerry. See if I can get these to open up. So Jerry's detailing his GT500. Oh, I think I opened the wrong one. Hold on. There we go. Cleaning it up. That has to be a fun car to drive. That's pretty cool stuff, Jerry. Looks good. Let's see. Jerry says, "Okie dokie, thank you, Don. Stay safe." Yep. Robert, spring-like weather ending here finally. Oh, I get you. Okay. And Robert, 79. She really liked it though. We found a 78 at Pate a few years ago. That was really nice. So that was a 79 model. Interesting. Yeah, what was the name of that thing? I don't know why my mind wants to say something like a Concorde or something. What was it? What was it called? Greg says, yeah, Barry was very bad over there. Everything going on, or everything gone. Yeah. And now granted, and I don't want to be, think of this the wrong way. And you can, but anytime I see a huge natural disaster, whether it's tornadoes or hurricanes or flooding or whatever, and yes, I'm concerned for the people and their housing and their safety and all that sort of thing. But then over here in a little back of my mind is thinking, what happened to, did they ever have any kind of muscle car? Did they have ever, some kind of classic that they were had in a garage or whatever? And now the garage is gone. What happened to those cars or vehicles? I know that's completely secondary, but it is something to think about. It's like, man, I mean, I'd be heartbroken if we had a tornado come through. If the house was gone, I wouldn't, whatever. But the Model A, yeah, I'd be really upset about the Model A being gone. Everything else can be pretty much replaced, but Model A is not something I want to see go away. But I think about those things. Who knows what was in some of these? I did see a video somebody posted. They used a Like a Rock Chevy song, commercial song, and they had somewhere in all that mess, it was like a 90 5 or something Chevy truck. The thing was bashed. I mean, it was just had been tumbled and rolled and hit and smacked, and it was all mangled. And the guy, the video starts with the guy. He fires it up, and he pulls out from all the junk that was like over it and on it. And I mean, the thing is just mangled. And they were playing the Lake of Rock song, and it's like, well, it's for the most part, these vehicles, if they're not flooded, a tornado, yeah, it could beat the tar out of them, but um, then the thing still runs because it's not like it's a mechanical damage. So Robert said, yeah, that was a Concorde. So if anybody has a 79 Concorde sitting in their backyard, let us know. Robert wants to buy it. Okay. Charles, Ford is rumored to be building a 900 horsepower Shelby 500 KR. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Dave Britton says hello. Glad you're here. Troy, Barry, that is my concern for my 65 that I have put all the work into. We are car guys. Yeah. I mean, honestly, there's so much time and effort goes into some of these vehicles, and then a tornado comes through and it's like, oh, well, that's gone. What are you gonna do about it? Don, the wife can fly away with the Model A. No way. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't replace that Model A. Where am I going to find another one? Jerry, classic cars are like family pictures. Once gone, probably cannot be replaced. Prayer out to the folks in the storm path. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, exactly. Dave, years ago, we had a major tornado come through our area, and I hauled tornado damaged cars to our junkyard. There were really no parts left on them. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. But as we know, all we really need is a good set of door hinges, and we could build a new car, right? So at least I'd have that. Jerry, I have a 79 Lincoln. It's for sale also. Okay. And Dave says, well, the drivetrain, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can still save that stuff. Ed, I was near the California fires, and during the fire, I went to a local grocery store and saw lots of classic cars and realized they were clearing the garages in the area. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you just can't, you just genuinely can't just go click and have a new one at your door, like a new car or whatever. Dave sent you some pics of a Stude I've never heard of, a 53 3-door. Came up on my Facebook page, but had no other info. Wondering if you've ever seen another. See if I can pull that up. I don't see it just yet. Oh, here we go. So they were calling this a 3-door? Let me download these pics quick. So so I guess the question is, does it actually have 3 doors, or is it a 4-door that, because I don't see any pics of the other side. That is an odd looking thing. I'll say I have not seen one of those. Are the dimensions? They look like they're the same side to side. What is that? Oops, I don't want to do that. Hold on. Let me pull up one more here. So there's another angle of it. That is genuinely an oddball. I've never heard any. There's no door handle. I don't see any door handle on the side. Image 4. Hold on a second. Let me use one more image to pull down. So here's a kind of a close up on that. That's bizarre, Dave. I have never seen one of those. And the scale is way off. That is an odd looking vehicle. Robert, with the number of tornadoes we have that come through here, it surprised me the closest has only been a half mile away, but it was small and only a little damage to a few businesses. Yeah, we've had a couple come by close to us, probably within a mile. Nothing bad though. Bob, bear appearance rate. We grow some pretty tall trees. Now it's my biggest fear. My rust-free 67 coupe is to lose it, is the loss of it from a tree. Yeah. That's scary for all of us, I think. Dave, it looks like a third door opens like a modern quad cab truck. That's what I would think too. You know, like the little some of the car, the Saturn had that third door that opened up behind the driver's door, I think. Dave, the most renowned guy that does automotive woodwork, lost his shop and cars this year due to fire. Tools were not replaceable. Happened somewhere down there in the U.S. I don't know who that was, but that doesn't sound good at all. Jerry, what recommendations does the group have for brakes for high performance GT 500? That's a good question. I don't know what to tell you on that car. I really don't. I mean, other than upgrading to Willwoods or Brembo or something like that, I don't know what your options are. You know, of course, you can get different pads and stuff, but I don't know what the options are available for that car. Anybody have any input for Jerry? Robert, at least they put the third door on the correct side of the car, unlike the first trucks that had them on the wrong side. That's true. Well, you know why they had them on the other side, though? They didn't have them on the wrong side. That was for letting people out onto the sidewalk. Just like the three-door Suburban passenger side. So that when you parked on the street, they got out on the side of the sidewalk. That's why. But the more modern stuff, they make it an access door for like your golf clubs, not for people. Jerry's a rear door like a club cab chassis. I would think that's what it is. Dawn saying Studebaker taxi? I don't think so. That wouldn't make any sense. If it only had 3 actual doors, it wouldn't make sense to make it a taxi. Kim, Kiranicki, best car ever made, Generation 1 Honda CRV has to be the most comfortable, reliable, and versatile car of all. The very first CRV? Oh, well, I'll take your word for it. That was last week's subject, though. But yeah, I get that. You know, it's like I have that little Honda Fit out here. Other than having too low of ground clearance, I love driving that little car. Oh, speaking of which, don't tell anybody. Last night I was out delivering some food, doing my Uber and that thing. And I was trying to back out of somebody's somewhat long driveway. Not real long, but it wasn't a straight driveway. And there were leaves and dirt and stuff all over the place. I could not see the driveway. And I was backing up and I didn't realize the driveway curved back to my right. I thought I went kind of straight. I didn't see it. There was no mailbox or nothing. I mean, it was just in the way. And I went kind of straight and I went kunk, kunk. Bzzz, front wheel was spinning. I was like, oh no. Looked over and I could see the driveway switch to my right. Put it in drive. It pulled right back up through their yard, angled over and backed out and left. I looked over it. It was nothing there to hurt. It was just grass and it was all covered in leaves and wasn't very well kept. But I'm just glad I didn't get hung up and have to go say, hey, can I get a hand out here to pull my car off of your ditch? Jerry, the horsepower is about 650 horsepower, about 700 foot-pounds of torque. Yeah, I'm not sure what you need, Robert. Not sure on GT500 the brakes you take off are an upgrade for our older Mustangs. That is true. Like I said, you're probably looking at Willwood or Brembos. That's about all I can tell you. I don't know which one would be better for you, because they have multiple pistons in them and all that stuff, but probably Willwood or Brembos. Dave, that woodworking guy is Mike Nichols. Okay, I probably haven't heard of him. Not sure exactly what all he did, but maybe I'll have to look him up afterwards and see what happened. So you say he does automotive woodwork, lost his shop and cars this year due to fire. Tools that were not replaceable. Yeah. Well, there are some hand tools and stuff made or that were, old stuff that you just can't replicate. Not the same. Okay. We've been at it an hour and 1 minute, and I'm going to call it a day. Hopefully we got, Jerry, I don't know if we got a good answer for you on the brakes, but again, I said Willward or Brembo. Terry was asking about the EFI or mechanical or fuel pumps and whether he should run the computer or not in his project. Hopefully he got some good answers out of all of that. That's pretty much all we had for questions today. But again, I think everything went okay. So I'll be back on Monday night at 7. Not sure what we'll talk about on Monday night. Who knows? But hopefully we have something good to talk about. And if you have any questions, we can share, or you want to email me some ideas, whatever. That's fine. That's fine. Happy to talk about different things. But for now, that'll be it. Oh, Terry says he lost patterns for woody wagons. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. Wow, yeah. I guess you never think about that stuff. You're saying I've got a pattern for this. I'll never need to recopy it, or but losing it in the fire, not cool. Not cool. Okay. So anyway, thanks for being here. Hope you have a good weekend. I'll be back again on Monday night at 7 o'clock. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.